703-922-1900. To our next guest. He is Ken Reid. He is a candidate for the Virginia Senate District 37. Mr. Reid, thanks for joining us. Your website is kenreid.org. That's R-E-I-D. Tell us your plans if you were to win this race.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. The district includes Fairfax City, Vienna, Oakton, Tysons, Falls Church, and Merrifield. So only folks in that area can vote. And our proposal on the tolling plan is on that website, /tolling. And that's what I thought we were going to be talking about today.
Yeah, we can jump right into the tolling plan. But tell us what you were part of, if I remember right, you were actually part of an initial vote there with regard to tolls in Northern Virginia, and now you want to address the fact that these tolls have gotten a little out of control.
Well, yes, I've been involved with transportation advocacy for over 23 years in the Washington area, initially in Montgomery County, and I served 10 years in elected office in Loudoun. I moved to the Tysons area 2 years ago and decided to run to give voters a choice because the area is so very Democratic, and I think that Republican voters need a choice, but all voters need a choice. And I've been heavily involved with Metro. For instance, I was the fifth deciding vote to bring the Silver Line to Dulles, even though I had personal misgivings about the project. So I've been advocating for transit and road projects, but the I-66 project in particular has concerned a lot of constituents here in Fairfax County in particular, because the tolls are very high and they're not using those lanes because inflation. It's a cost of living problem.
Right. I mean, the traffic may be awful on Route 7 or other ways around there, or even on the Beltway, but when you see the toll is going to be $25 to go 6 miles, you might want to do it. Might not want to do it. So what's the Republican plan here that you're endorsing?
We issued this tolling, equity, and relief plan Friday. 8 candidates were at this news briefing in McLean, and it essentially calls for 3 things. It calls for rebating tolls for people who use the express lanes on a regular basis, like 30 trips a month. This is done in Florida. There's nothing new here. Florida adopted this last year. The funds would come out of future tax surpluses, and if we see an increase in revenue for the toll operators like the 66 and 495 lanes, and maybe some of that, so they can maybe share some of that profit too. That's what's done in Hampton Roads. They actually give a rebate to people making under $65,000 a year. We want to return to HOV2. This is part of the problem is that the Transportation Planning Board and Air Quality Board for the Council of Governments, which are, I'm not going to be partisan here, but they're controlled by Democrats. All the governing bodies in the Washington area are controlled by Democrats. Moved to HOV3 as a way to induce people to use carpooling and transit, and it's not working. So you can't use this express lanes for free unless you have 3 in a car, and that's extremely challenging. HOV2 is a lot more easier for people to get 2 people in a car, so we want to move back to that. And we want to also equalize the tolls on I-66 inside the Beltway, which have been a ripoff on the toll payers and the motorists for 5 years since the McAuliffe administration implemented it. And the Northern administration, despite efforts by Republicans in the General Assembly, did not roll back those tolls. And that money has not been used to widening the road completely. It only widened it to Glebe Road. It's being siphoned off into transit and bike trail projects, which are not really helping commuters that much at all. They're important projects, but they're not helping them at all. And we also think that it's egregious that you can drive solo to Tyson's Corner in the morning on 66 for free and not have to pay a toll at all. So you're coming in from Maryland or D.C. or Alexandria and Arlington. So it's been a scam for years. We want to roll that back.
All right. Well, listen, that is very thorough. And if anyone wants more information about this, you can get it at Ken Reid's website. It's kenreid.org, EID.org. And there's a little helpful map there to tell you if you live in District 37. It's one of these districts that sort of got redistricted. And I'll be honest, District 37 looks a little like the image of the Ebola virus strain. Right? I mean, if you look at it, it's got that.
It does look a little weird.
I don't know what they were doing when they drew this one. But so go check it out and find out what district you live in. If you're in 37, Ken Reid's your man. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Larry, and hope that they'll vote for other Republican candidates and not get all worked up over the hype on abortion and other issues. There's serious issues that Republicans are trying to solve, and I think a lot of people are going to have to suck it up and vote the R this year.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Reid. That's when you're at 37. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The Ebola strain district requires you to kind of paint the picture that way. Suck it up and vote Republican, 37.
Yeah, it is a weird little district there.